In the last episode, you saw us in Martinique hanging out with ex-pro surfer Jason Aparicio, some new crew arriving, and Marty getting to meet his siblings. In this episode, we take on the daunting task of removing our forestay in order to address our malfunctioning furler problem. Well, we're leaving our anchorage after, how long? A month?
No, 3 weeks.
We've got 3 new crew on board. This is our first time moving with them on board, so we're going to go get some water. Ran out of water last night. We're going to go into the dock, do a little bit of repair work on the furling head saw, and then set sail. So the problem we were having for a long time was that it was super difficult to furl this headsail up. We would have to turn downwind and we'd have to get one guy on the winch doing the furler, pulling it to make the furler spin, make the drum spin. And we finally addressed it, and we spoke to Gaetan at Caribe Marine Rigging in Martinique. And he said that he could probably sort it out with 2 guys on here for 60 euros each. That's 120 euros an hour, and it could take a few days. So that was well out of our budget. So we asked him what our other options were, and he said if you can do the work yourself, he could just take a look at the furler itself. Can I borrow the big spanners? Your boss said you could leave them with me.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Put the shackle onto the bottom of the, so that's called the swivel, that thing there. So the halyard, the black line is attached to it.
Okay.
And so you're going to tie this on, so I can try to pull it down, but that's broken. I know it's broken. But in order to take the furler off, we had to remove the forestay. So what we did was, first we had to back off the shrouds, the cap shrouds and the lower shrouds, and we had to get those turnbuckles moving. Oh, that moved. So that was a big job. They're actually seized. I'll show you over here. The turnbuckles were actually seized here and here, so we could only get them moving here and here. We had to apply heat and everything like that with the blowtorch. So once we got these spinning, we were able to take the tension off the cap shroud and the lower shroud. That allowed for the mast to move forward, and then once the mast was forward, we could remove the forestay. The most important part about doing this was to support the mast forward with at least one of the halyards before removing the forestay. Once we removed the forestay, we were able to slip the furler off the bottom, and we took that into Caribe Marine, and they said it was not functioning properly. They emailed the manufacturer, I think it's Facnor, and they kindly said that they would replace it, they'd swap it out, because it's a known problem with these. I think it's an L200. So they sent that one away and they gave us a new one that was worth 2,000 euros. So they gave that to us for free. I had to buy a couple of the extra parts, like the extension on the top, a couple of the bearings, the plastic bearings inside the foil. So the whole thing probably cost me about 500 euro. But in the end, we got a perfectly working furling headsail now. The other problem we had was that the swivel at the top, the rubber bushings inside the swivel, they had worn out, and the 2 little tags that are meant to run up the track, they had snapped off. So the swivel was spinning with the halyard, and that was also making it hard to furl in the headsail. So we put new bushings inside there, but again, to do that we had to remove the forestay anyway. So while we had the forestay off, we did everything and put it all back together. And then when we went to tighten the shrouds, we realized that the cap shrouds here were bottoming out on the on the turnbuckle. So the turnbuckles were in all the way, but they weren't tensioned up. We wanted 3,000 kilograms on here and 2,000 kilograms on the lower shroud. We couldn't get those tensions because we ran out of thread. So this lower shroud here is almost all the way screwed in, and it's still super loose. So there's only two causes for that. One is the whole mast has been pushed down, or this is actually too long. Because these are they torque these up to 4,300 kilos or something. So they're super tight. So that was quite alarming. It either meant that these lower shrouds had been replaced with shrouds that were too long, or it meant something else was happening with the rigging, like maybe the mast step had compressed or something. So when we came inside here, we realized that the back of the seat here was all compressed and buckled here. So that obviously means some sort of tension had come on here, so that was alarming as well. So I got in there and I checked the bulkhead. That's a pretty main bulkhead there. Checked all the tabbing and everything like that, and that bulkhead is intact. It's perfectly good. I was able to check both sides all the way along, so I was happy with that, but I was wondering how this was happening. Well, it's not bent or buckled or compressed. It's all solid. So we'll leave it for the professionals for their opinion. And then my friend Jeff, who's got a Lagoon 560, he came on board, and we put our heads up here under here, and we saw that the where this beam comes down, the front of the plate that holds that beam up is just slightly pushed down, and that's buckling this out a little bit, but most of the weight is still being held up against that bulkhead, so it's not very alarming. We got the riggers to look at it. The riggers realized that our mast wasn't raked back enough. It was too straight, so with the mast being straight, it meant that these lower shrouds were further back, so we had to tighten the diamond shrouds to put a bigger bend in it. By putting a bigger bend in it, the middle of the mast went forward, which means we could tension these lower shrouds up more. 1100. That's 1.1 ton. So this shroud's not tight enough. And we got the blowtorch. We got some big spanners. Got the WD-40. Hopefully it turns. Once it turns, we can tension them to 2,000 kilos. Do you want to have a workout?
Okay.
See if you can wind them up.
Are you ready, Jamie? Your leg is in my hands.
So that's what we did. We had to go up there. Again, all of those turnbuckles were so hard to turn. We had to put the blowtorch on them for ages. WD-40 just to get them moving.
How are you doing?
I'm super frustrated.
Why?
Can't undo this turnbuckle. So it's looking like they're gonna have to grind it off and re-rig it. Once we got them moving, we had to put two huge shifters on it to get them spinning, and me and Jamie, we got all 4 diamond shrouds tensioned to 2,000 kilograms, and that put a really big bend in our mast, and then that, as I said, that brought the middle of the mast forward, and then we were able to tension these correctly now. So now our whole rig is tuned perfectly, and we've got a perfectly good furling headsail as well. So super happy, and the whole thing cost us about 500 bucks, including a couple of hours labor and little parts here and there. But Gaetan at Caribe Marine was amazing. Honestly, he just let us borrow all his tools. Became kind of friendly with him, and he would just go to his workshop in the morning, pick up big shifters, that I don't know what it's called, the tension meter. He was super generous, so huge thanks to Gaetan, and couldn't be happier. Now the rig's tuned, and We'll see how she sails. The problem with our furling headsail turned out to be a combination of a faulty halyard swivel as well as a defective furler itself. After sea trials, the headsail was now able to be furled single-handedly as it should be. The most difficult part of the whole process was freeing up the seized turnbuckles, but we were determined not to have to grind any off. We really hope you found this episode interesting, and don't forget to subscribe to show us your support. Join us next week as we sail in a convoy of hundreds of catamarans following a famous regatta in Martinique.